All right, thank you so much for coming, even if you're grumbling quietly underneath. I really do appreciate your being here. And I'm delighted to welcome Jerry Johnson and Katie Schneider. I've got Katherine written here, so it's all messed up in my head. Jerry is a poet and a spoken word artist whose poetry has appeared in a variety of literary publications worldwide. He is the author of 3 poetry collections: Poets Should Not Write About Politics by Evening Street Press, A Coldness, published by Finishing Line Press, and Bad Fruit by Gnashing Teeth Publishing. Gotta love that name. His poetry collection, Poets Should Not Write About Politics, was selected winner of the Evening Street Press 2020 Sinclair Poetry Prize. Jerry's poems, The Apology and Monsters, were nominated for the Pushcart Prize. Katherine E. Schneider is the founder and editor of the Northeast Coast Literary Journal and Press, and she is honored to be the 2025 to 2027 Poet Laureate of Norwalk, Connecticut. Your Poet Laureate.
Yeah.
That's right. She holds an MFA from Fairfield University's MFA in Creative Writing program and is a co-founder and co-host of FUMFA, Poets and Writers Live, which is Fairfield University MFA, Poets and Writers Live. In her various roles, she has organized and hosted countless online and in-person events for poets, writers, and the greater creative community. Her first poetry collection, I Used to Remember the Story of How, was published by Finishing Line Press in 2019. Her second, Breaking the Fever, is the first publication of the Northeast Coast Press. Her publication credits for individual poems include Ruminate, Blue Line, The Poetry Porch, The Paddock Review, Collateral, the 2023 and the 2024 Connecticut Literary Anthology, Oronog Mountain Poetry Journal, and more. She also contributed the essay on Kasia to the Mezzocanon Women Poets Timeline Project. Would you please welcome them to the event? All right, they're each going to read for 15 minutes. You guys want to flip for it?
How you want to do it?
Well, what do you think, Jerry? You want to go first?
I'll go first.
If you don't mind, I'll
I'm
get some
good.
video of you from coming back.
Oh, cool. Good. And I'm going to sit this time.
Oh, you're not going to use the mic?
I do want to use the mic. Actually, I'll use the mic. But I don't want to stand.
Okay. Do you want the
Yes.
sing? You know, because I'm an English teacher and I know all these words. Yeah. Yes. Do you want the music stand?
I'll do that. That's fine. That's good. This
Well, I
is
can
good.
bring it over there if you want to sit.
That's good. All right.
You like standing
The tree. So no music stand.
Music stand.
Music
That's
stand.
good. Yeah.
Okay, that's yours. All right, there you go. Anna.
Thank
It's okay.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thanks to all of you. Bill.
Good to see you, dude.
buddy. Man. And a lot of people I don't know, but thank you for coming out tonight and supporting. I should do this in the microphone. Thank you for coming out tonight and supporting this great event and this great series. Laurel has been doing this for many years. And she's always brought in great poets who came in and did great things. So let's get started and let's read some poetry. I'm going to read from my latest book titled Bad Fruit. I just lost my bookmark. Rush hour. Subways and metro trains and shuttle buses and taxis and ride shares and schedules and on-town arrivals and late arrivals and reading while riding and sleeping while riding and oversleeping, missing your stop and rescheduling and rearranging your day and rearranging your life and miles, day after day, and wear and tear and wear and stress for the weary and smiles and frowns and grimaces and smirks and tears and payday and paying bills and days off and overtime, again, and paying bills and roadblocks and stalled engines and trees falling on your railroad tracks, and paying bills and morning rush and 5 p.m. deadlock and evening and night and midnight, and paying bills and alarm clocks screaming early every morning. Cruising at high altitude.
A little
Shake,
closer
shake,
to the mic,
shake.
Jerry.
I'm sorry?
Closer to the mic.
Cruising at high altitude. Shake, 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 the airplane shakes as it lifts off from the steamy runway. Knock, rock, and roll. Bang, the luggage in the overhead compartments. I compartmentalize my shaky nerves into my own baggage claim, because that's where all my drama is stored. My airplane climbs. I lean back. I let myself feel the mild G-force press me. Press me, G-force. Press me. I relax in my G-force pressure, and I ride the climb into a blue sky adorned with pillowy clouds bearing pleasant, friendly smiles, because the skies are not frowning at humans today. My airplane levels at cruising altitude. I myself level, calm, steady. My plane is high. I am as high as my plane because I left all my troubles down on the earth below. And I cruise at my mellow altitude, and I cruise at my mellow attitude. And for a moment in my days, I dance. Feed the bull. Feed the bull. Make bull make money. Feed the cow, milk, make babies. Beg the hen, egg. Feed masses, crow, rooster, crow. Slop the hogs, so greedy, and so the pigs, so greedy. So greedy, who's not greedy? Swing cleaver, butcher, meat, bacon, chew the fat, scale balance sheets, calculate, recalculate income statements, slap yourself silly when the numbers don't add up. Elevator, hurry, I need to leave ivory towers. Crow, rooster, cackle, hen, grunt, hog, snort, bull. This ain't no Animal Farm. I'm leaving ivory towers.
Yeah, Jerry?
Yes.
No, it's just cheering you on.
This one was nominated. This is probably one of my a very raw piece, so put your seatbelts on. The title of it is Monsters, and it was nominated for a pushcart. I don't think the pushcart people will accept this one. But let's read it anyway. Monsters. Monsters dressed in monstrous garments welcome into our homes for dinner. Seated at the head of our tables, knife in one hand, gun in the other, eyes dark, lifeless, bloodthirsty, teeth baring, lion smiles, mouth busy, lips moving rapidly. Affectionately we gaze at the monsters, spellbound by their grandiosity, mesmerized by their grandiloquence. We applaud and we roared with standing ovations. Aroused, we lust for violence and riot. Maddened, we abhor peace. We raise our middle finger to diplomacy, and the monsters grin, beholding us as we become mobs, as we unleash our rabid dog, as we knot our hangman rope, as we sharpen our knives, as we load our guns, as we too become monsters.
Woo!
Right. Let's. I'm looking at what I'm going to end with. So let's not do this the dancer. Lately I've been dancing all my tears. Without slip or fall, every plie I bend, every entendre I stretch, every releve I rose, every glissade I would glide, every saute I jumped, every lance I darted, every tournée I turned. My dance floor is drenched in my tears, and still I dance, and still I maintain my balance. Lightning strikes, flash in my skies, while the thunder cracks. I dance with the lightning, and I roll to the drums of the thunder. There are no raindrops falling from the clouds, for my grief is my cloud, and my teardrops are my rainstorms. Suddenly earth stands still. I do not fall, I stand still. Earth quakes, I'm still standing, and again I start to dance. Every entendre I stretch, every plie I bend, every glisse I glide, every releve I rise. And my grief plays on, and the lightning flashes on, and the thunder rolls on, and my teardrops still fall, yet I refuse to stop dancing. The title poem of this book, Bad Fruit. Shriveled orange skins, black and blue limes, purple apples, black pears, rotted bananas, satin grapes, withered figs. Bad fruit, served daily at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner, at midnight, during the late night snacking fridge raid. Lately, all we've been eating is bad fruit. We spread the table in the morning. With proper etiquette, we hold our knives and our forks. We bite, we chew, we swallow. Later, our guts rebel. We hug stools violently. We puke. We become plague. We become pestilence. We become pandemic. We become epidemic. Slowly, we become bad fruit. I'm going to read a piece that give you a little insight into my next book that I'm working on now. This piece was selected by the International Human Rights and Arts Movement for their anthology, 2025 anthology. The title of this piece is Habeas Corpus. And I have the habeas corpus is from the Latin show me the body. As you probably already know. Habeas corpus. Wrists, ankles, bruised, scarred from iron shackles, arms pulled and stretched towards the ceiling of somebody's dungeon, legs stretched and dangling over somebody's hell. I hear jeers from the tunnel crying, carcass, carcass, carcass. My neck, my throat sore from collar of chain. I scream back, body, 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 I'm still alive. My eyes burning of sweat dripping from my scalp. My starvation, from starvation, my rib cage shows, my bones groan. Slowly I waste away. I am defiant, innocent of the slurs cast into my teeth. My existence criminalized. I fight to exist. I want my day of habeas corpus. The jeers echo from the tunnels to my dungeon. Carcass, carcass, carcass with sore throat. I scream back. Body, body, body. I'm still alive. I'll tell a story about this last piece and close out with this with graffiti. I was suffering from writer's block. I was suffering from writer's block, sorry. And I was on the train. I live in New York City, and I take the train from Harlem to White Plains, New York. And so I said, I wanted to write, and I didn't know what to write about. And so I started looking everywhere, and I saw graffiti everywhere. I saw graffiti on trains, I saw graffiti on buildings, and I keep dictionaries. A writer should always have dictionaries at hand. So I picked up one of my dictionaries and I looked up the word graffiti, and I found that it was mid-19th century from the Italian word graffio, and graffio means to scratch. And I wrote this poem, graffiti. Itchy is that wall as it awaits graffio. The graffitist, urban artist, revolutionary, pushing back against norms, challenging tradition, fostering change. Revisionist of the streets, you share your thoughts with us, the concrete, with us, the steel, with us, the asphalt, with us, the bridges long, with us, the freight cars wide, with us, the skylines tall. Your hieroglyphs tell a story, your symbols represent notes scratched on sheet music, your clefs set pitch to song. Itchy are the walls that await the graffio of the graffitists.
Katie, you're up.
Oh, let me get myself back up there. Jerry, that was awesome. Awesome reading.
Do you want me to put it over there again? Or are you going to stay in the middle?
You know what? I'll stick around in the middle. This is nice.
Okay, can we move that way so I'm like not being attacked by a monster plant?
Yes. Camouflage.
Good, I don't know what I am, but thank you.
You might want to move that away from the poor guy's head.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
Right here.
Oh,
The stand.
The
The
stand,
stand.
okay.
oh, don't worry about it. I won't use the stand. That's
Here, you don't want the stand? Give it to me and I'll get it.
Oh, okay. So sorry.
That's okay, it's all good.
Here you go, Jerry. Yes. I got a great video. Oh, okay.
Okay, one more time for Jerry Johnson, everybody. That was awesome, Jerry. Such a fantastic reading. It's always a treat to get to hear Jerry. All right. I'm going to be sharing poems with you from my second collection of poetry, which was just released from my press, the Northeast Coast Press, at the end of January. The arc of this poetry collection goes, kind of takes you through a real personal transformation I had in terms of deconstructing from evangelical Christianity, which still has a powerful place in my heart, but was worth questioning, especially with many different world events that are occurring here and abroad. And also just kind of the process of growth and affirming my own self-worth. So I'm going to take you through some poems from each section of my book, Breaking the Fever, available on sale tonight. All right, I'll get started.
Just put the mic right there for a sec.
I'm going to get started with my prologue poem, which is called Prescribed Fire. It's also an ekphrastic poem inspired by this incredible painting by James Chen Wishart. So if you can imagine a skeleton sitting in a void with colorful flames coming out of its head, that was the visual inspiration behind this, and the personal inspiration behind it was witnessing a friend of mine experience PTSD and culture shock in a way that also made me reflect on some of my own experiences towards the end. Prescribed fire. You sat down dizzy, fevered on the floor, past and present melt, lucid dreams of fire. You were in a taxi on your birthday, in a foreign country, summer on fire. And she was not your wife, but she loved you, like your mother who made bread on the fire. The dogs would bark all night in your village, the occupier's army opened fire. The colors modeled on the water, bright, city lights reflected, lapping like fire. Far from danger, you went to sleep that night. You wept until exhausted, eyes on fire. You used to sit and talk with your best friend on rooftops watching sunsets orange fire. You'd led her by the hand leading the crowds, religion belied by cheeks red with fire. Now, shoveling snow at the gas station, you ached for orchard fruit, for home, for fire. Take the pills, like circus performers' flames, pop them back and gulp as if prescribed fire. My vision blurs as I see into you, all your bones, your wishes, your pain, your fire. I too have scars and stories never told, bound to my mind as a halo of fire. Thank you. So that is the prologue poem. That's how we get started. And I'm going to read one or two poems from the first section, which is called Save Me. You might have noticed that there was a repeating word in that first poem, and it is almost following all of the formal rules of the ghazal form. So if you are studying poetry right now, you may know what that is. And this poem is also sort of in that form, not following all of it exactly, but I love the opportunity to kind of meditate on a specific word and phrase, bring it back again and again to reflect on it and kind of drive home this feeling. So the poem I'm going to share from this section is called Pity. How could you hurt me? I have been so kind. I winced and all my face said, take pity. I wove a quilt. I warmed you. You moved me. Took but gave nothing, not even pity. I have spent my life soft, speaking gently, deferring, relying on your pity. I have looked you in the eye, thou monsters, who consumed me without thanks or pity. There is no art, there is no subtlety in the narcissist. He laughs at pity. There is no shame, no self-effacing change in the bully who reigns banning pity. What kind of animal are these cruel ones, so proud not to be kind or have pity? From the time they met me, rejected me, ridiculed and used me without pity. And they will be the ones who seem to win. And dazzled masses will forsake pity. Worship a fat cat savior, slick and snide, hate neighbors, deride the poor, no pity. The beaten, sad Jesus said love, mercy. They scoffed, man up, I don't need your pity. There's no safe place here for a tender soul. Hold up your own light, don't expect pity. Thank you.
Woo.
All right, I'm going to read one more from this section before we move on, which touches a bit on the religious deconstruction element that's in here. It's called From the Winter Evening Woods. Now at twilight in the snow-covered woods, every inch of the ground a sparkling white blue. Follow the silence to the last you heard from the acquaintances who prayed for you. Was it prayer you'd needed or just warmth? Fellowship was soothing, steadfast, true. Until the fall of many icons, you couldn't comprehend a dissenting view. You'd heeded predator apologists, bully pastors. You sang with insurrectionists before you knew. Back then they were just Christians, huddled, embracing, speaking wishes to God in the night for you. You'll miss the warmth, not hypocrisy, judgment, or shame. The freedom here outside is cold and new. Thank you. Woo! promise you we're going to bring it back up. All right. This second section is called Foreign in That Place. And it comes out of a trip that I took, actually to the Holy Land. And so I was traveling in Palestine and also in the state of Israel briefly, but mainly I was in Palestinian cities. So it was an amazing opportunity to write some poems that reflected that powerful experience. This poem that I'm going to share with you is called City on a Hill. It has an epigraph from Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Okay. Excuse me. I am a city on a hill. I know what Jesus meant. I saw it myself. I saw the cities on the hills in the Holy Land. Out of the terminal, into the van, we drove through the night, Israeli street to Palestine. I saw the cities on the hills. They sparkled in the black ore of the crisp January sky, exposed, twinkling, bright. I am a city on a hill, eyes fixed to the window. And when we crossed the army-guarded checkpoint into the town, the scene came more to life. Christmas decorations strung up across the streets, parallel parking, car beeps. I swear I saw a man riding a horse inexplicably at night around Christmas. It was interesting. The driver made friends with me. He stopped to buy kunafa. We ate it as he drove with sticky fingers. Page turn. And there I was in a hotel in Bethlehem, moved from a basic room to one with a balcony. I could see out from inside the city. Each day I looked out, I walked around the ancient places and the newly built. I thought about what it means to be a city and a light. And what are all the structures and things except dust not yet pounded out? And what really matters except the lives of the people who live now? And if this was the longitude and latitude where Christ was born and is no more, then ours are the mortal bodies that hold the holy wisdom and the option to conjure life with its power. People are the only holy cities, the contrast in the silent night. We are the living truth cast on the screen of time. Thank you. All right. I'm going to share one poem from the third section, and then my final poem will be from the last section. This poem gets into a little bit of romance. Ooh! It's a little bit sensual. Okay, but not too sensual. This is a library. All right. This is from the section Bright Bits of Stars. This is also from the same ekphrastic project that I introduced for the first poem. So if you can imagine a painting, once again, of a skeleton in a void, leaning over to kiss an unseen other. It's a really beautiful and evocative painting, and I was inspired to write this villanelle for the form conscious in here. Once again, repeating lines, kind of very, very seductive. It's called Tell Me Your Dreams. For love I lean close, bare bones on my knees, tears melt to ether, been waiting for you. Let me kiss you as you tell me your dreams. My mind lights, bursts with color when we meet. All ridges of spine, hungry ribs, they knew. For love I lean close, bare bones on my knees. How touches and words conjure galaxies. We're bright bits of stars, red, yellow, green, blue. Let me kiss you as you tell me your dreams. In intimate darkness, where we are free. I am your safe curve, tell me what to do. For love I lean close, bare bones on my knees. A thread connects my wishes to your needs. You hear the long-held desire come true. Let me kiss you as you tell me your dreams. It's the portrait of how you ignite me, of how I give, and just this is the view. For love I lean close, bare bones on my knees. Let me kiss you as you tell me your dreams. Thank you. this poem. If any of you have been out hiking north of Fairfield, my hiking friends know where this stuff is. I don't really know, I just follow them. But at least at the time I went, many moons ago when I was in college, like many of you, there was just this area where there was tons of mica, and I was inspired to write this poem. It's from the last section called Broken Glory. Mica. Fragments of mica shimmer in the forest on the steep side of a hill. Paper-thin flecks of it shine in the light, translucent insect wings. You dig out the biggest pieces, layered ones edged with dirt, and hold them out in your hands like precious shards of broken glory. Thank you so much.
All right, another round of applause for those wonderful. All right, well, let's see, where do I want to start? I think that your books both take on the corrupt.
Yes.
Jerry, you're tackling more global issues, racism, political corruption. Well, you got some political corruption in there, and assassinations. Well, Katie, you're tackling, it seemed to me, more personal corruption kinds of issues, abuse, lying in personal relationships, that kind of thing. Why is poetry an effective way to tackle corruption?
Ooh.
Go first.
You got this, Jerry.
Sometimes I call it like I see it. That, manure stinks.
Yep.
Corruption stinks. And there's no way to prettify it. I believe in telling it like it is, with boundaries. I don't get crazy with it and stuff, but I kind of keep it poetic. I keep a rhythm. I try to obey certain rules, but I see things that I don't like, and I write about it. I think about the piece Monsters. I wrote Monsters simply because I was watching television one day, and the stuff I heard just really bothered me. And the next morning on the train, I write on the train when I go to work. That's what I do all my writing. On the train.
Nice.
On the way to work. And that's one of the spots I write. And so that morning, I couldn't get that news thing out of my head. And that's when I wrote Monsters. By the time I got from Harlem to White Plains, the poem was done.
Yes.
Nice when that happens.
But the train will do that to you. The train's sort of magic in like helping you write. I don't know, it's the rhythm, it's the
rhythm of the movement of the train,
Yes.
the rhythm and the actual movement of the train, the conductor making their announcements, all of that just kind of gives a vibe
It does.
that puts me in a mood to write.
Yes. Jerry, I totally agree. I have one or two poems that I wrote almost entirely on the train just like that, and I've never had that experience anywhere else. Laurel, can you just read the question one more time exactly as you phrased it?
Why is poetry an effective way to take on corruption?
An effective way to take on corruption because it is personal or political, because you are taking the opportunity to actually speak, right? You're believing in the worthiness of what you have to say. You're believing in the worthiness of sharing that, in it having a rhythm, in it being published, in it being performed at an open mic, and just that in itself, that boldness to say, these things are wrong, this is unjust, these people have wronged or betrayed me. That is so empowering to speak to that truth. You're being so bold in speaking to that truth as a poet, even in just writing about it, just honoring the fact that this was real, right? And then when you share it with others, you're testifying to the fact that that something wrong has happened, that and that you sort of inherently believe in doing that, that the world can be better. And also, by doing all of this, whether it's just you by yourself, you are encouraging yourself, but when that lands with other people, people will get the chance to be encouraged by that too. So I think that that's really powerful. Poetry matters, your voice matters. Believing in the worthiness of your voice and developing that voice and sharing that voice really, really matters, makes a difference.
And Laurel, I want to make sure I answer your question. Thank you for that, because you put me on track here a little bit. Just to make sure of the effectiveness, there are a lot of my peers that don't believe I should talk about current events. A lot of my peers, criticize me for that. And I'm okay with that. I started writing Sly and the Family Stone. Sylvester Stewart, Sly Stone, who got me into writing. His song, sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. My own beliefs are in my song.
Yes.
That's why I write about social things. That's why I write about wrongs. Because if we remain quiet and write about the trees and the stars and the moon and the clouds, that's great. But we have such depth in our heart. We have such feeling. We should write about some of the terrible things that surround us. That's what I believe.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, to everything you just said, Jerry, I just wanted to add that.
Okay then.
Yes.
Great, thank you. So I also see in both of your most recent works an intermingling of past and present. Katie, you have kind of a timeline in yours from pain to acceptance that I find interesting. Jerry, you tackle the deeper past, including both your own history and also the political and racial history of the United States. So what choices did you make in picking those events that you wanted to include in your collections? Why did they resonate in particular for you above other things that happened in your lives?
Jerry?
Me first?
You first, Jerry.
Two pieces that I wrote. The Race. The Race is a long poem, but the Supreme Court made a decision a couple of years ago. Clarence Thomas was at the top of the whole thing, and I did not like the decision. It was around affirmative action that is no longer needed. We're all equal, and that whole point about we being all equal does not resonate with me at all. And as a student of history, I wanted to be a history teacher when I was in college, because sometimes the teacher would just let me have the room. And because I didn't go before a history teacher as an empty pitcher before a full fountain. I took my knowledge with me, and I was very well versed in a lot of things. The Race goes through the history of the African American community and all the things that we suffered. And it was me striking back at the Supreme Court decision saying, we're all equal, and I don't believe we are. We still have, yes, we've made great strides, but we're not there yet. And so that's what I did with it. So I did me knowing history, I just kind of went through decades talking about the things that African Americans did to actually help and promote this country, but we never got credit for it. And the same thing with 1963. JFK was assassinated November 22nd, 1963. And if I tell you how old I was then, you'll figure out how old I am now. But I remember that day, and there was 3 8-year-olds. I was 8-year-olds then. I was in 2nd grade. And in that piece, I write about that day. It was a shock. It was a horrendous day for kids of our age. And that's why I wrote about that piece.
I think in terms of how I decided which moments to write about. I get a little bit woo-woo about this in my writing. I feel like the moment told me. I am a firm believer in if you are kind of tapped into your creative flow, then as you're going through life, you will know what you need to write about, and then you trust the time it's going to take to marinate, and then when it's time, you just set aside everything as much as you can, and just get that first draft out and kind of flow with it. I knew when certain moments occurred that I was going to be writing about them. There were also certain transitions and very painful experiences in my life that I really wanted to kind of alchemize through poetry, heal through poetry, that I definitely knew I wanted to write about in a way that would be healing but also empowering to me. I think, of course, when I took that trip to the Holy Land, when I was traveling and seeing the tremendous paradoxes right in front of me, that these are these incredible historical and religious sites, and there's such terrible, terrible, terrible injustice here, and very frankly, in situations of apartheid and murder with impunity, it's very upsetting. I knew that I had to write about how that crazy feeling felt, right? But I think if you're a poet out there, maybe if it's not right now, maybe you shouldn't force yourself to write about it right now. You put it in like the marination pickle jar in your mind, and you know that you're going to write about it. You're going to set aside the time to write about it, and go on that journey with that poem. So I have poems yet to be written that are still cooking. But I knew when this particular manuscript was done, when I had felt that this particular period in my life that the arc of the collection is represented by, when that really felt like I had honored that enough.
Oh, Katie said something that we want to answer Laurel's question a little better. November 22nd, 1963 was always in my subconscious. It just came out.
Yes.
It just came out. It was always, I didn't sit down and say, I'm going to write about November 22nd, 1963. But it was such a horrendous day for me. It was always in my subconscious. And when I started, and I just started writing about it. I just basically, I didn't know where the poem was going to go. I started with the title, November 22nd, 1963, and I just let it go where it went. But it was always in my subconscious.
Yeah.
So now, as a sort of follow-up to that, are there incidences like that have produced multiple poems because the moment was so powerful that it kept coming out in different ways?
Ooh, nice.
The short answer for me is yes, definitely, Laurel. I also just want to say I'm so sorry. I'm not great with the stool here, so that's why I'm standing.
Do you want to pull that over?
No. I'm so used to like standing during events and like being able to see everybody. So no disrespect. Oh no, I just said yes. The question, Laurel.
I don't remember.
Yes, the fastest.
The incident that produces multiple poems. Yeah.
The fast, yes, that has happened to me. I think one piece in my second book, I saw events, and I immediately, without even thinking about it, without even thinking hard, I just bang, put stuff on paper.
Right.
Yeah. The title of the poem in my second book, it's 1938 again. Actually, that's my first book. It's 1938 again. There were things I saw in the press that bothered me so bad. And I wrote that again. That was one of my 20-minute, 15-minute poems. And knowing history, European history, because I lived in Europe, I was able to just put that on page, but yes, there are things that have happened that have made me go to pen and page.
I so want to speak to how you said something happened. I had to write, and I think we need to just give credit to poetry, and we know it's an expressive tool, but also a tool for processing things that have happened. I don't think we can separate just the act of writing poetry from just personal well-being and mental health. And I think anything that has really inspired me, where I felt like it was so important that I needed to write about it. Maybe they didn't all make it into the book, but there were many, and some poems that become final are many pieces of the many poems that came out of some really powerful moments.
Great, okay. You guys have interesting sort of publishing trajectories. Jerry, when I first met you, you were self-published.
Yep.
And you have gone on from there to be published by, I don't know, like what, 2025 independent presses? I mean, the man has been like so prolific, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It is. And Katie, you started out with a small independent press, and now you've started your own press.
I am a small independent.
You are a small independent press, right? So can you talk? I mean, that's sort of like a swap, right? So can you guys talk a little bit about how those things have happened and why you've made the choices that you have?
I just like giving it to you.
I love it when I'm first in line. Yes, my first piece, first two books I did were self-published, and I hired 2 editors. I paid them like $25 an hour, that kind of thing. And one of my editors said, "Jerry, what do you want to do with this work?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to keep going with it." She said, "Okay, you need some publishers in your portfolio." I'm like, "Really? Really?" She said, "Yes." So I said, "Okay, all right." That was a leap for me, but it worked. It worked. And now I live in New York City. I have a cadre of poets in Manhattan that hang out with me. And guess what I told them? I said, "Okay, I love your self-published work, and their work is great." But I asked them the same question: "What do you want to do with this long term?" One guy said, "I just want to do one book, and I'm fine." I said, "Yeah, man, self-publish that." The other guys, I said, "Your work is good enough." And now one of them was published by Finishing Line Press. Yeah. And the other, he called, he sent me a note. He said, "Jerry, 4 publishers just picked up 4 of my poems."
All right.
Yeah. And so it's a process. Now the next step is, I do have projects planned, and at some point I've been thinking about, getting a agent, but I was at AWP, but I changed my mind. I've been my own agent for a while. I'm going to wait a little while. But there's a later project that maybe an agent will come into play.
All right. That's pretty exciting.
But that's the growth. Every year I grow into a different mindset around what I'm doing with my work. Yeah.
That's so awesome, Jerry. I love that. Gosh, I think my trajectory was good. I went to an MFA program years ago, right after college, and I put together a manuscript that I then edited again and again. Individual poems were published. And then I decided, okay, I think there's a final version of this that I would really love to send out to small presses to see if, I'll have my first book out there. And Finishing Line Press picked it up, so that was very, very exciting for me. But also my first manuscript, I'm still so proud of it. I love it so much. It reflects so much of my writing and of my life and my growth as a person and as a writer. But over the time between when I had put together the manuscript and maybe added a few poems to it, and then had that book published, so much more life had happened that was pretty interesting. So, and many more poems had come out that just did not fit in that first manuscript and really needed to be its own manuscript, which is where Breaking the Fever came from. And if you have read my first book, available from Finishing Line Press, called I Used to Remember the Story of How, it's kind of a sentence title. If you have read that and then have read Breaking the Fever, you can see that there's kind of this tremendous growth, while still you hear my voice, but you're seeing kind of a lot of different things that have happened. And I'm so proud of this book. I did send it out to many different small presses. And it was a finalist for the Fairfield Book Prize in 2023, so I'm still so proud of that. But it did not win, and over the years I was thinking to myself, I want to form my own press. There need to be more venues for poets. There need to be more venues for all these incredible manuscripts that are out there, like among your friends. Jerry, tell them to send to me. Yes.
I will.
And any of you, if you have manuscripts, follow me on social media, get the info. I wanted to start one of my own, and I said, I don't want to be saying that I'll publish other people's manuscripts without kind of putting my money where my mouth is. And so in a way, I self-published this through my own press as a template for what I would do for others, and also as a way to kind of have my hands in every part of the process of making this book, because it is so personal to me. So I wanted to show people that the kind of care and the level of attention and social media fanfare and interesting events, just the quality of how it's looking, that I've done that here and that I will be doing that for you. And please keep your eyes out up for the Northeast Coast Winter 2027 for our first cohort of books that are not me.
All right, very good. Very good. All right, thank you. So I want to open it up for the last few minutes for questions from the audience. What would you guys like to know?
I don't have a question, I just want to put things in context. On November 22nd, 1963, I was walking out of a calculus exam my freshman year of college when I got the news about Kennedy's assassination.
Wow.
And that was a, wow,
That was
life changer.
Right.
So just, there you go.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you.
Questions? Yes, ma'am?
When I was listening to Rush Hour, I kind of initially thought of it as strictly about traffic, and then it kind of evolved into about life in general, and I really liked that. Was that intentional, or do you ever see yourself trying to write something and then the words almost kind of make the poem into an entirely new kind of
Great
idea?
question. I love it. Love it. I didn't intend. Great question. I didn't intend for it to go where it went. I was on the train, pissed, tired, on my way to work again, dealing with drama. And I started the title Rush Hour. And sometimes when I write, I don't know where it's going to end. It just goes where it goes. Now, the part where I say payday, payday several times, that was my publisher who told me to put that in there.
It's a cooperative process.
I don't argue with my editors and my publishers. 99% of the time they say, Jerry, do this, I'm like, I'll do it. 1% of the time I say, no, I'm keeping that line.
That's right.
Yes, it is. But no, it started with the thought Rush Hour, and it just flowed. Thanks for that question.
That's the way to that is my mantra, my manifesto. That is the way to write, Jerry. When you are in that sort of state of flow of inspiration, write. Don't edit while you write. You can edit for eternity later. Just go for it, edit, and then later you can edit, and later your publisher can give you a suggestion later. But don't have that voice in your head stopping that really authentic flow of words, of rhythms, of sounds, and associations. I so believe in that. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Who else?
What would be your social media account?
Oh, thank you for asking. I have a few. You can find my main poetry account on Instagram at The Story of How, separated by underscores. I do have a postcard for my press, and I am open for poetry submissions and poetry manuscript submissions through the end of this month, National Poetry Month. So if you have something that you feel is ready to share, would love to receive it, would love to consider it before the end of this month. Please do follow me. I also do tons of events here in Norwalk. We'd love to have you. Jerry does events too. Please, oh yes, Jerry, share your social media, and you have a new newsletter.
I have cards. I actually remember to bring them.
All right.
But the cards show it has my Instagram handle, but also the newsletter. You can scan the QR code and subscribe to the newsletter. Once a month, I talk about poetry events in the Northeast. I'm actually expanding. For next month, I've got Texas on the list.
Oh, wow.
And I'm expanding. I'm going. This is getting bigger and bigger. I was fortunate to bring someone on, a new managing editor, who's come in and she's just revamped the whole thing, which I appreciate. So I have cards. I'm going to put them on the desk. Take one, scan the QR code, subscribe. I only send out a newsletter once a month. I will not bombard your mailbox, but I send out a newsletter once a month, and I talk about all the great programs that Katie is doing, Laurel is doing, and everybody else is doing in the Northeast.
Other questions? Yeah.
I have a question specifically for you, Jerry. I'm kind of disappointed I got stuck on the way here. I'm coming from
Sorry.
Can you speak up a little, please? I'm sorry.
I have a question specifically for you, Jerry. I'm
Yep.
kind of disappointed I didn't get to hear more of your books or poems. I was coming from I-95 North, but what was your opinion on graffiti before and after the poem? I know some people might call graffiti trashy or ghetto, and they might just see it as just vandalism. But
I'm
what
a
was your
big
opinions on it?
One, I'm a big fan of Basquiat.
Yeah.
Graffiti tells a story. Every time you see it, there's a message. Then you have some graffitis that, they put some stuff up. It's not. Everybody has different levels of what they do in graffiti, and of course, in some cases, it's against the law. But it's that want to communicate, that want to rebel in a sense, that want to say, no, I don't like what you're doing. I appreciate the art of expression. I have a lot of friends in New York City that are visual artists that do graffiti and they do murals and other types of expression. Graffiti is an expression. And I'd say, instead of criticizing it, maybe you should try to understand what the artist is trying to say.
Okay. Question?
Great question, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. go
Bring
for
it on, guys, come on.
Oh, thank you.
What inspired you to make the first poem with the skull and the different colors?
Can you repeat that question?
Oh yes, so thank you so much for this awesome question. So what inspired me to write the poem based on this painting where it's a skeleton sitting in a black void with multicolored flames coming out of its head, which sounds pretty exciting and pretty interesting, very, very powerful. And I think that's what's so cool about ekphrastic poetry. Yes, talking about being inspired by visual art, looking at what an artist has created and having that that feeling that you're getting from that piece of art just let you dive into writing. Whether that's just free writing, whether you've got the rhythm already in your mind, just diving into creating a poem. I knew that I wanted to write a poem about this piece. I had been in pretty close touch with the artist at the time, and if you look up James Chen Wishart, that's the artist, you can see that he posts these awesome time-lapse paintings of him doing all of these skeleton paintings in this series that he did, and I kept seeing them, and he paired them with some really powerful music, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I asked him, would you be interested in partnering for one of the paintings that you haven't posted a time-lapse video for? Would you be interested in working with me and my friend Dave, who creates digital music? He's a really awesome music producer, on creating the 2 social media posts where there's the visual of the time-lapse of the painting being created. There's me reading, reciting the poem that I've written inspired by it, and then there's my friend Dave's music to go with it instead of the artist's choice of, some kind of very moody 9 Inch Nails song or something like that. But you can actually see our collaboration. We called it Ekphrasis Collab. From the summer of 2024, if you're dedicated to scrolling back on my Instagram to 2024, you will see the time lapse of the painting. You'll hear me reading those poems, Prescribed Fire and Tell Me Your Dreams. You'll get to hear the music that my friend Dave created. So it was kind of taking that moment of inspiration by saying, this is such beautiful and interesting art that inspires that makes me think of all these different interesting things, and actually going for it, making it into a project that we could then share with people, giving them a way into each different art form. More ways into the painting, more ways into the poem, more ways into the music. It's so special. Thank you for that question.
All right, one final one.
Kind of piggybacking off of that last question, so it seems like that was very intentional for that ekphrastic poem. Have you ever had that experience where it's not intentional, where you just see something and then get inspired by it?
That is such an excellent question. Yes, absolutely. Whether it is a piece of art or something that strikes me so much that I kind of put it in that fermentation jar in my mind. Sometimes the response in writing is immediate, but often I'm putting it away. Maybe I'm kind of free writing a few thoughts and I return to it, and I know that I'm going to write a poem that's going to be really important to me from that. That's definitely happened, where the inspiration is immediate rather than kind of a planned project. Absolutely. I'm sure, Jerry, you have a similar experience.
There's a new one in the works.
Yes!
Titled Subway. I take a lot of subways. And Subway is really good. I won't share it. It hasn't been published yet. I just sent it off to some publishers. But it is wild and crazy.
Woo!
But, the subway rides are amazing. And I just sat down one day after I got off the subway and got on Metro North, and I was like, I need to write about Subway.
I love that.
Fair enough.
Such a great question.
It was a great question. All right, final round of applause, please, for Katie Schneider. All right, thank you so much for coming. If you're interested in doing more of these or coming to more of these, I do take email addresses for my mailing list. Otherwise, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Yes.